She is reincarnated as a crow in a female-oriented game she played a long time ago. The first place she opened her eyes was in a forest, and she was afraid and terrified of the reality that she had to live as a crow in the future. After saving Prince Camute's life, she is brought to the Imperial Palace to live as his pet. However, just as she believes she's set to live a life of comfort, she finds herself caught at the center of a dangerous power struggle between Prince Camute and his brother. She was born as a cute baby girl who only wanted to be loved, but she was bound to undergo infinite regression, even though she became an extra and the daughter of an employee. Not even a young lady would soon be ruined because of the S-class survival difficulty. She came here and became frustrated because of her current situation, but she received some privileges that were not so bad. After her father, the emperor, was assassinated, Regina became the regent in place of her little brother, who was still young. No matter how well she dealt with domestic affairs, the empire's vaults emptied out due to how much of a sucker her little bother the trash prince was. On top of that, there was news that her fiancé was cheating on her. In the end, she lost everything due to her fiancé leading an insurrection. However, in her final moments, Regina turned back time with the first emperor's memento and vowed to become an even bigger trash than her little brother to prevent the errors of her past. Kalia is a war hero and commander that put an end to the past war. But one day, she finds out that she's pregnant? Of all people, the father of the baby is her best friend, whom she spent a single passionate night with. Believing that Simon, her best friend, doesn't want the baby, Kalia hides the truth of her pregnancy, then retires from her job and disappears while Simon is away in order to have her baby. But the truth is that Simon has loved Kalia more than anyone else, and so the frantic search for her begins. She became the incompetent villainess who commits wrongdoings in order to earn the love of her fiancé, the male lead. Her reputation was already at rock bottom, and the main characters, who can't live without each other, are having an affair. So after she was kicked out, she set up a stationery store in front of a school. She reminisces of snacks, beer candy, and even bubbles. Her family used all their money for her extravagance and luxuries and brought a crisis of bankruptcy. While trying to figure out how to pay off their debts, she found a leaflet from the Duke looking for a lost child. She took the lost child and went to the Duke. However, the child keeps thinking of her as a mother and won't her leave. She's the Knights of the White Knight, who had been raided by enemy forces at the hunting tournament and disappeared. The shadows of the forest managed to find her unconscious under the cliff with a major injury. A few days later, the main character woke up and had a severe state of memory loss that she was having a hard time speaking even the simplest language. She wandered around the house barefoot in her pajamas, talking in a casual state. She definitely was a strange woman. The main character name is Bianca de Blanche. She was the wife of Zachary de Arno, but after his death, she was thrown out of the Arno family due to her self-indulgent, frivolous, and immoral behavior. After wandering nowhere to the fall and ruins of her family, the Blanche family, she is driven to a shabby periphery monastery. And at the end, she eventually died on the cold stone floor, a villainess with no honor. That was Bianca's life before she went back in time. Naturally charming, our main character attracts women like a magnet, even when she doesn't mean to. Enter her best friend, Claudia, who refuses to marry any of her 3 suitors because of her affection for Irene, our main character of this webtoon. As a result, these powerful and mentally unstable men declare Irene as their rival in love and threaten her life. She knows none of them deserve to be with Claudia, but she doesn't want to die. To save both her friend and herself, Irene must prove she's their ultimate rival. When she was 6 years old, she laid eyes on the handsome heir to House Escalante. She promptly made the boy her fiancé, but the boy is not ready for this sort of commitment just yet, and he spends the next decade and a half avoiding the marriage at all costs. Luckily, that's no trouble for the female lead, as this marriage failing is exactly what she wants. But when they become adult, the male lead is determined to change the female lead's mind about him and prove he can be the husband she's always wanted.